Migrating to Australia, the only podcast where we keep you right up to date with the latest comings and goings in migration in Australia. And David Bongiorno, Australia's finest migration agent. David,
Oh,
there's been one hell of a going, hasn't there?
it's been a busy week, Grant, and we're all packing up and looking forward to having some time off for Christmas. Are you having any time off?
Well, you know that since I had my big scare and all that stuff, that I've designed my life to be do what you want when you want. So
That's
I don't
good.
really I don't really need to have time off. But David, you've got to let me get my smug, conceited dig in when we're talking about comings and goings. The minister with the longest title in the history of ministries.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
gone.
Mr. Tudge is no longer the acting minister for immigration, and that
He's
was
now
earlier this
pretending. He's now
Minister for Education.
Hang on, let me get it out. I'm doing a bit here, Dave. He's now the pretending to be competent minister for something else.
I'm not too sure how many ministries he has, but he no longer has the ministry for. Well, he was the acting minister for immigration for a long time because David Coleman was on personal leave. David Coleman's not coming back. David Coleman has also been shifted laterally, vertically, horizontally, whichever way you want to look at it. The new minister for immigration will be Alex Hawke.
And he's yet another one of those high flyers from the most talented front bench in the history of Australian government, Dave.
Alex was for a period the deputy assistant minister for migration a long time, but can't remember, about 6-7 years ago. Maybe my time is fine because I'm having so much fun. But he has been the assistant minister. And let's have a look. Actually, I've got my computer in front of me for the first time in a long time while we're talking.
I think he was the assistant minister to the Stop the Boats ministers.
Let's have a look out of curiosity now. Alex Hawke, member of Australian Parliament, minister for. Okay, so they haven't updated him on his website, but he's now sworn in as Minister for Immigration, Minister for Immigration, Citizenship, Migration Services, Migrant Services, and Multicultural Affairs. That's a mouthful. I'll repeat it again. He's now the Minister for Immigration, Citizenship, Migrant Services, and Multicultural Affairs, and that he was sworn in 4 hours ago. Okay, that's why his webpage isn't updated. And he was the assistant minister for immigration for a period. He is of Greek background by way of his mother. So Neos Cosmos did a wonderful piece. They did. It was great. They said the second Greek minister of immigration after Arthur Balkas. Do you remember when Arthur Balkas was minister for immigration?
I do.
He doesn't look very Greek. I think his mother's mother was Greek or
Alex Hawke. You're talking about because
Alex Hawke. Yeah.
Mr. Balkas certainly looked Greek.
Oh, Mr. Balkas was unmistakably Greek.
Now, David, I'm not surprised that the website has not been updated because I'm going to guess that you're probably the only person who has visited the website in the last
alexhawke.com.au, and they've got him. What have they got here? Age 43 from Wollongong. We won't hold that against him. He's an Australian Liberal Party politician serving as Minister for International Development in the Pacific since 2019. There you go.
And hasn't he done a great job of reinforcing our ties with the Pacific? You know,
it's a little bit of levity here for the Christmas edition of the Migrating to Australia podcast.
Really important that I clarify this about Alex Hawke. He has nothing to do with the great Australian Prime Minister Robert Hawke, or better known as Bob. Same spelling, nothing to do with each other.
Totally unrelated. Unrelated.
Yeah. So
different to us. Different to us, Bongiorno's, Grant. Most of us are related.
Yeah. Well, although I did speak to someone the other day who asked me if you were one of the the such and such buongiornos, and of course, I didn't know, but I
I
said,
have a cousin, Rachel, who's the best journalist of all of us. I was a
well,
journalist once.
well, I was asked whether you were related to Rachel, and I said that you were a cousin.
Rachel's my
And,
first cousin, and she's done some wonderful work for National Public Radio in the States and Deutsche Welle. She's great. She should be
oh,
she should be she should be the ABC. If anyone's listening, ABC need a quality multimedia journalist like my wonderful young cousin Rachel.
and that reminds me, David. When we bear with us, dear listener, when we're off air, David, I have to ask you for the Christmas present that you're going to give me, unbeknownst to you, but the reference to Rachel has reminded.
I don't have a panettone. I don't have a panettone for you. I've had a little one for breakfast, so I don't have any spare ones. Panettone time, Christmas time.
No, this is easily within your gift, David. Now, dear listener, we are waffling. We are having fun. It is the
last episode. The
last David and I episode, and I actually think, David, that
for the new year, for the year, not for forever, but for the year. We'll be back again in January.
For this year, and I wanted to get us together so that we could, one, thank the listeners for being with us and for the growth that the show has experienced in the last year.
Thank you for people reaching out to me on Twitter, Grant. A lot of people have reached out to me on Twitter, and it's been great to talk to people.
And I wanted to let people know of a couple of things that will be happening in the podcast feed in the new year, so that you don't think, oh my God, what's going on. I'm going to re-release 2 episodes that, and I think I mentioned it a week or two back, for the Min and the Terra Seth episodes. So they're going to come down your feed, and there may be the odd announcement because the new website will probably see the light of day on January 1 Australian time, and I will be reposting on the website all of the episodes.
What are we up to now? 50, 51?
The last episode, I believe, was officially 50, and then we've got a couple of those bonus episodes that went out at the same time. So,
and the great thing about running our own podcast is no one can cancel us.
well, that's why podcasting is great, and it's why we are not doing our stuff on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. We go there now. That's the other thing. Streaming will grow. We'll probably be going out on a couple of extra platforms so that we can see who we can find. We'll be doing more promoting into certain markets like India, thanks to everyone who does listen on Ghana.
Is Ghana the medium in India, is it?
Yeah, it's a network, podcast and music network based in India, and it has rapidly become our number 3, almost number 2.
That's fantastic.
Channel. And on the website, as we come up, there's going to be some really easy ways to review the show. And what I did want to ask everyone, Dave, this is real indulgence. If you want to give David and I a present of any sort for the festive season, the best thing you can do when it comes
is a
to
review.
This,
it's a review. It has to be a review.
No. A review is not the best thing. The best thing you can do is share. Subscribe wherever you listen, whichever medium you listen, subscribe and then share. If you happen to be watching the videos on YouTube, make sure that you like my channel that they're on, and then share them with anyone that you think has an interest in migrating. And I'm guessing that that's going to be a lot of people in Europe, a lot of people in the UK, and about 50% of the population of the USA, mate.
We celebrate migration. We talk about rules, laws, policies, but we also talk about the people who've migrated to Australia and have made Australia great. And as you're saying, Grant, Tara Seth over the holiday season, a mum, a lawyer. She finished her law degree, a supermodel. She did the Paris fashion show. I'm not too sure how many times, but she escaped. She ran for her life. She ran for her life in the Sudan. She's lost family in the conflict there. She has a beautiful son here. She has a bikini line, clothes line. She's an entrepreneur. She's wonderful, force of nature. Another great one is Min. Now, Min came to Australia as a student, and Min was nearly killed by despicable, odious right-wing fanatics. And it's a story about Min's triumph over the evil that he was subject to, and how he's graduated from his accounting degree. We've got him temporary residency, we've got him permanent residency, and now it's time for his citizenship. So that's a wonderful story of triumph over adversity. And Tara Seth's story reads like a film.
Yeah, and you know, let's be frank. I think when we recorded Tara Seth, you know, both of us were still finding our feet a little bit in how to interview people when their experience is kind of confronting. So I'm looking forward to inviting Tara Seth back on perhaps this year or next year as it rolls in. A comment for everyone too, that this year was very, very difficult for us to get people, you know, David's clients and whatnot, who could share their story just simply because of the situation that we've all been in. So hopefully the next year means that we can focus a little bit more on the personal journeys of people. And David, I think we're going to have to revisit a number of the popular visa classes again.
Absolutely. And also, too, there's going to be a lot of movement in the partner visa section mid-year. And we talked about it years ago on the podcast. It's finally coming to fruition. Sponsors will have to be approved before visa applicants can lodge their application. So at the moment, as we speak now, if you're lodging a partner visa and obviously you've satisfied all the criteria, the visa applicant is assessed, and at some time in the process, the sponsor is assessed in that process. What's going to happen now is the sponsor is going to be assessed and approved.
Do you remember, Dave, you nearly made fun of me. Do you remember when we talked about that shift in sponsor visas? And I said to you, you watch, the government's going to make it so they're going to pre-approve the sponsor. And I can remember you sitting across from me with a little grin on your face, as if, no, they won't do that. That's far too much like a police state. And here we are.
And we're here. You were 2 years ahead. And the story is the sponsor has to be approved before the visa applicant can lodge their visa. Now, we don't know how long the sponsor will take, but what it's almost certainly going to do is control who comes in and when they come in. It might minimise, it might reduce the number of onshore applications, because imagine you're here on a visitor visa, you lodge an application as a sponsor. What happens if your visitor visa runs out for your wife, your partner? Do you see what I mean? How this is going to create incredible timing issues. Normally you just have to hold a visa. And if you hold a visa...
Sorry, Dave. It's Benny. Benny's going to be furious.
Benny. Hello, Benny.
Shut up.
Happy holidays, mate.
Yeah. When we can get back to doing a show or two occasionally in the situation room there at Bongiorno Central, we're going to have to war game the strategy. It's going to be really cruel, because you bring somebody in from Spain hypothetically to marry them. They've got a 3-month visa. You put your sponsor application in. What if the sponsor application takes 4 months to approve? Well, you got to apply for another visa to keep your partner here. I mean, there'll be a migration dance. But what my concern's going to be, Dave, is what if you're not rich enough? What if
you can't travel to Australia? Yeah, correct.
What if the Australian citizen's just a plain old working class person and they
and
go,
their partner is
"Oh,
from if
sorry,
their partner is from
no,
Iraq, Iran, they'll never get here to lodge an onshore partner visa ever.
um, so we will be wargaming these kind of things, and we've discussed this a bit off air. I've got a bit of a bee in my bonnet about some of the work practices and the PR hype about certain visas that the government is really pushing, and I, I think we might go down a bit of a controversial path and talk to some of the promoters of these visas, and then talk to some of the people who have taken them up, and explore the facts. One of the things that we pride ourselves on, Dave, is while we always promote your services and your businesses as part of the podcast, we're upfront about that. We're not a puff piece PR.
No, absolutely not.
Dribble show.
Never.
And
Never would, never have been, never will be. I mean, take the childcare example, the childcare diploma.
Yeah.
You know, we were quite clear in our advice not.
What about accounting, mate? God,
not to study. Don't ever study accounting. Don't ever study law. Don't ever study law. Don't ever study. Don't ever study childcare.
The universities have got me on a hit list.
It's amazing. I mean, these courses don't lead anywhere. It's like the David Byrne song from Talking Heads. We're on a road to nowhere. You know.
And I remember the first time I sat down and you and I talked about podcasting, Dave. It's the first time I'd met you in person, and the thing you stressed to me was that you like to tell people what they can do and what they can't do.
Always.
Because most of the problems come from what you can't do, and once you've already done it, it's very hard to undo it.
Correct. 100%. It's important, and I'll never tell anybody if they want to study what to study. I'll tell them what not to study. I'm never aware of a person's talent, intellect, interests, so I can't recommend a course to study, but I can tell them what not to study and what not to do.
Now, David, I sorry to interrupt you again. It's Benny. I just interrupted again. We like to react to feedback, Dave, and I did notice that we had a comment. I don't know if you saw it on LinkedIn from our English engineering friend.
Oh no! What did he say?
I thought it may have slipped past you.
Yeah.
Now we're talking about skilled work visas that are opening up again, and that New South Wales has opened up. Victoria's is coming soon.
5th of January, New South opens up for Victoria. It's opened up for New South Wales now.
And Liam commented, eagerly waiting for Queensland. Liam, no update yet, mate, but we're keeping you in mind, and when we know, we'll be right onto it.
New South Wales has opened up already for the 190 visa. We won't touch the 491 visa. We'll dedicate exclusive episodes to the 491 and 190 in detail. But the list is for recovery from COVID, economic and health recovery. And, I mean, there's a few occupations that are no surprise. All the nursing occupations, you know, for 190 for aged care nursing, child and family health nursing, community health nursing, critical care and emergency nursing, disability and rehabilitation nursing. These are just some of the nursing occupations that are open for the 190 visa with New South Wales. ICT business analyst in the IT sector, system analyst, analyst programmer, developer programmer, software engineer, ICT security specialist. A couple of trades get a mention in the new short, recently opened 190 visa list: building and engineering technicians, electrical engineering technicians, electrical engineering draftsperson. So there's a list. What is up there? And I have no idea. Maybe one of the listeners can tell me how being a naval architect has anything to do with COVID or our economic recovery.
It's got to do with Fremantle and South Australia and marginal electorates, I reckon. Dave, I didn't see podcast host or producer in the list.
No.
Good. I don't want them coming here taking the Australian jobs. So
that's the thing, isn't it, Grant? I mean, the beautiful migrants who come to this country do the jobs better than the Australians can do them generally. and take the jobs while they're studying here that Australians don't want to take.
And
we miss them dearly.
Yeah. Dear listener, again, things are different. I don't know if anyone's ever watching the stream or the videos. I'm in a different location. David's back in his office, so his backdrop is different. There's no shelves in the background, and
Right.
I haven't got my ugly wall behind me. I've got some curtains because I'm looking after a friend's place while he's out off seeing his family for Christmas, and I'm just keeping his pets company.
What's he got? Dogs, cats?
But he's got a retired greyhound and a rescued cat, and they both have distinct personalities.
Do they get on well with each other?
Yeah, well, the cat just does her own thing, and then comes and meows at you incessantly when she wants something. So that's all right. And the big greyhound, well, occasionally he wakes up. That's the big event. He wakes up, gets off the couch or gets off his bed, goes to his food bowl, has a drink.
Yeah, they don't move much, do they? Post racing?
No. The maximum 30-minute walk. After about 10 minutes, he's telling you he's had enough.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. But the point of we're going off on a tangent, Dave. The point of mentioning is that I'm much closer to the city at the moment than where I used
normal.
to. So I've been popping into various places around the city, and there are a lot of international students still here who obviously got stranded.
Well, thank God they're here, and I hope they're doing it comfortably because international students bring life, energy, and drive to the city.
My comment was, Dave,
we need them.
The feeling I got was not. I'm used to seeing them in groups and giggling and excitedly running somewhere, like into the library or
absolutely
off to RMIT or Melbourne Uni or
when we were students.
And I was in Footscray the other day and around near Victoria University. It's just flat. Everything is just flat.
It's a shame.
It's like
such a shame.
Everything is just a big plod. So hopefully 2021 we see a change.
You read or heard anything about the Charles Darwin pilot? They're all out of quarantine, the 63 students, and back at school, which is a great start. Let's hope that is the beginning of a intake in other states of larger proportions than 63, but 63 is a good start, especially for Darwin.
Yeah, I'm a little bit torn about how I feel about that because there's still 30,000 Australians trying to get.
Yeah, but it was a chartered flight that they paid for themselves.
Yeah, what I'm furious about, I'm not. I think that's great. Look, and the university should be.
I think they weighed in. I think they weighed in as well. Yeah.
Flights on too. What I can't understand is that we've got a fleet of Air Force jets that are fitted out for passengers and VIP transport and something, and we're just not doing anything. We're not being proactive in any way, and I can't work out why. I can't work out who they're helping. I can't work out why, if they don't want to fly the RAAF fleet around the world bringing Australians back, why are we not subsidising the commercial airlines? They're coming in here and they're empty. It's insane.
I saw photos of 3, 4, 5 people in Melbourne, Sydney flights, and obviously a few more in international flights in newspapers and online journals. You're absolutely right. They're flying in empty.
Did you see the who flew back from India? And there was only about 7 people on the plane when it landed in Melbourne, he said. And he paid nearly $7,000 for a ticket. I mean, and the plane was empty. It's
word.
Insane. Somebody subsidised that flight, be it the Indian government or I don't know who, but it's bonkers. There are people who are desperate to get home, and the Australian government should have paid Air India or whoever it was and filled the bloody plane up. I can't see the logic.
With politics, there is no logic. I don't think we can answer a question that has no answer. We can't look for an answer because there is no answer.
And Bozo, the PM, did a press conference the other day, all sincerely going, "Hey, our feelings are with the 30,000 Australians trying to get home for Christmas." I thought, that's the biggest load of rubbish I've ever heard. You're in a position to do something. Hey, do something, pal.
Yes, I think we'll move on. But no, New
Look,
South Wales is open. Victoria opens in January, and Victoria's program will be much like the interim program, focusing on health and economic recovery by way of health. So basically, doctors, nurses, anybody who can contribute to the development and economic and health recovery of Victoria. So back September, we helped a lot of people who were in medicine, people in nursing get 190 visas. So the focus in Victoria will be not, well, New South Wales has IT, which is rather interesting, and some trades, but Victoria was more about nursing and doctors. Engineers are getting a Guernsey in New South Wales. So New South Wales is open now. We'll do an episode in great detail in the new year about it to coincide with Victoria's opening. We'll also do one as well. That's the 5th of January, and they're going to be quarterly registration of interest opportunity, monthly interest opportunities. I'll start that again. There'll be opportunities monthly for people interested in the Victorian nomination, subject to their eligibility, applying in the 5th of January, the 2nd of February, the 2nd of March, and the 6th of April. So if you're interested in Victoria, look at the Live in Victoria list. You've got to be living in Victoria just as you have to be living in New South Wales to maximise your chances. You won't get an invite if you're living outside of Victoria and you apply for Victoria. The key is to be here in working. One of the big ones that'll knock a lot of people out is for Victoria, you've got to have at least 6 months working in your occupation before you're eligible to apply.
So I guess that means as we always talk about, Dave, reach out in your network, contact the hospitals, contact the agencies, ask the questions, connect with people on LinkedIn, ask them what the situation's like. Is anyone about to go on maternity leave? Is anyone about to go and take a sabbatical? And who knows?
Victoria's got 1,900 extra positions on offer, 1,900 for the 190 visa.
So if you're on the other side of the world in a country that's being devastated and desperately needs its very highly trained health professionals, come here.
People getting here. That's an episode. That's what we need to do, an episode on people coming here, how to get here. I don't think we've done one on how to get here in COVID, have we?
Well, I don't think we know. I don't think anyone knows.
Oh, no, I do. I know how you get here. I know how you can get to Australia during COVID. There's a lot of rules, very strict rules. How you come depends on your status. Are you a member of an Australian?
How do you find a flight? That's
the issue. Yeah, that's the only issue. That's the only issue. So you get.
I don't know how anybody knows how you get there, because
a lot of people get tactical and fly to, if they're in Southeast Asia, they might fly to Singapore. It's easy to get a flight out of Singapore. Costs a lot of money though. That's the problem.
Yeah. I think when you're looking at Europe, it just seems to be that it's very difficult.
It is.
Yeah,
and very expensive.
It's impossible to plan, because look at what's happened. I mean, there's 40 countries have just slammed the door on the UK because of this new strain of COVID. Now, the strain is not going to stay in the UK. So
I think I was reading the newspaper earlier, a 15-year-old has bought it back at the Northern Beaches.
Yeah, that's right. We had that, but that's not the virulent strain from the UK. It's significantly different. But anyway, it looks like everything here is under control. But 40 countries, Europe and outside, have just cancelled. There's no flights from the UK. You just cannot get in. but that strain is going to pop up in the US, in parts of Africa, in the Middle East. It's going to be around. So a country's all going to just say no travel.
Waiting for that vaccine. A mate of mine took the American version. Doctor in Miami posted on his Facebook page. I think the Pfizer version, and
Pfizer and Moderna available.
I think he took the Pfizer version.
I heard someone today, David, from the US going through the numbers at the rate of production and distribution currently, because there's agreements for all countries to get some, but even with everything going full steam ahead, no hiccups, no clinical issues, all those kind of things, it's still probably 3.5 years until there's going to be sufficient people across most of the world to be vaccinated to say travel can be normal. And
I don't think it'll ever be normal again. I mean, we've got to accept a new normal, don't we?
And well, yeah, I just think we all need to hold our horses a bit, because some of the good news, and I don't want to be all bad news, but some of the good news stories that we're seeing in the media are ridiculous, because we don't know what the long-term efficacy of the viruses are. There's a lot of immunologists are saying you might need a new jab every 3 months to keep it up. If that's the case, if you need 2 doses in 3 months, and then you need 2 doses in 3 months, and then you need two doses in 3 months, and then 2 doses in 3 months, that 9 million doses that the US just took delivery of for the Moderna one, that's
Go very quickly.
That's not many people. That's
Nope.
That's 2 million people. How many people are in the US?
Gee, you're good at maths. You're good at maths. That's why I became a lawyer. I hate numbers. I lost you in about the 4th repeat.
I just think there's too much stuff. People are making plans thinking that it's all over, and I'm just sitting here waiting. I'm just waiting for the next bit of news.
No, it's not over.
And remember, pharmaceutical companies have got a lot to gain by the good news, and there's an awful lot of pharmaceutical companies that have never ever told the population the truth about their products. So while I'm not saying there are bad intentions out there, I'm just saying this thing's brand new. It hasn't been tested. We don't know long enough. We just don't know. We don't know. So please don't sell up your house and plan on going somewhere, and certainly don't go off on a harebrained backpacker vacation around the world, because wherever you go,
God no.
Wherever you go,
that's exactly right. You've got to have specific focused travel. You can't travel the world. That's exactly right. Coming here, you'll have the 2 weeks of quarantine. The $3,000 charge that incurs will take the gloss off a lot of low budget travel. So we'll be without our wonderful backpackers on 417 visas and 462 visas, because I don't think many of them would spend $3,000 on quarantine. Who would? Well, $3,000 is a lot of money in anyone's phone.
Dave, how many people after this year how many people do you know who could just front up for that? Who could
if the doors opened and people, well, I'll tell you what, if you're 21, 22, 23 and you're on a working holiday visa or a work and holiday visa, 2 weeks in quarantine and $3,000 is going to take a lot of gloss off coming to Australia.
And if you travel, you're not halving the cost. You're both paying it.
That's right. Correct. Yeah, you don't share it. God knows, $3,000 a head, and I haven't done backpacker for 20, 25 years. I don't know what a backpacker might cost. What, $50 a night?
Oh, look,
$40 a night.
I wouldn't even know. I was looking. I was trying to plan out a bike ride to bird watching spots, progressively thing, and just have a swag and a little, really minimal stuff. Oh, you're looking at $50 a night to roll out of
and
the
I mean, somebody who's coming to stay in a dorm with 10 other people, paying $40-50 a night, whatever it is, that $3,000 is going to go very quickly. Go very quick.
But that accommodation's no longer available, Dave, because of COVID.
That's the other thing.
So,
yeah,
those dorms are now priced the same as
hotels.
Two-person room because they can't.
How many can they have in a room? They can have.
Depends on the square meterage of the room. You can't have two sets of bunks and
whole new set of costs.
Yeah.
And on top of those new sets of costs, you've got the $3,000 for quarantine. You've also got travel. I don't know what airfare. What are tickets like between Melbourne, Sydney, and Brisbane? Are they expensive?
Well, that totally depends. And at the moment, you cannot fly between Melbourne and Sydney. You can
as of what, Monday? As of Monday?
No, as of yesterday.
Yesterday, okay.
As of yesterday, you cannot fly from Sydney to Melbourne or from Sydney to Brisbane unless you have unless you have the dying relative or extremely sick kid reason.
But even then, you've got to back that up with evidence to make sure that you've granted the permission to travel. You don't just state it; you've got to provide evidence.
So that reinforces. Here we are in a city, 52 days in a row without a locally acquired COVID case, and we are not taking people from the biggest city in the country, our most well-known and popular. So the point being, you cannot plan for anything. So just hunker down. If you want to do something Australian, enroll in a course with a amazing Australian educational institution and listen to the Bird Emergency podcast.
Good plug there. Good plug. Remember, for Victoria, I can't stress this highly enough. It's not open yet, but when it does open, you can only register interest between those windows I mentioned earlier. So it's not a matter of just applying. You've got to wait for the windows to open, and you only submit your registration of interest for Victorian visa nomination on the Melbourne website during the period. So that's an episode. We'll devote a whole episode in early January to the Victorian process for the 119.
January, David.
Oh,
see, you're forgetting.
I've got to get with the program. I've got to get with the program.
You're forgetting what we're doing. We're re-releasing
Tereseth and the wonderful recovery and blossoming of men.
And then we're doing the Australian Immigration Museum, and then we're back to business as normal. So,
might be stale news then. We might have to squeeze in an extra podcast, but because they're opening January 5 for the first window, and New South Wales is already doing it now, so we should squeeze something in,
I'll be relying on you to do your homework and get ready.
We'll organise a time to coincide with Victoria's commencement of program, and one of the first programs back we'll do is New South Wales.
Fan.
And what we'll do, we'll go through the actual process from start to finish, and give everybody an idea of what it involves. But if you're studying here and looking to stay here, the 190 visa is not necessarily going to be the way to go, or the 491 visa. Every visa applicant has facts and circumstances that are different to those who come before them and those who follow them. So what I'm saying in a roundabout way is, don't follow what your friends do. Oh, my friend did this, so I'm doing that. Do what is provided in an advice from somebody such as myself, or another registered migration agent, or another immigration lawyer. Don't do your pathway. Don't set up a migration journey without having bounced it off somebody like me, or somebody or me.
And
It's really important. It's really important. Just because we talk about these things doesn't mean everybody's actually eligible for them. There's visa criteria, and every case is different. Every case is different. You can't get from Peter and Paul and Mary and John their information and apply it to your situation, because Peter, Paul, Mary, John are different people, and it's all about your individual facts and circumstances. We've gone about that all through the podcasts. Don't do what people do. Do what you can do, and know what you can't do.
it's been a while since we've said that. Don't do what Uncle Jim did, or don't follow.
It's so dangerous. It's so dangerous. And you're right. We haven't done it for a while.
We haven't.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it because my cousin or my senior did it. Well, your cousin or senior might have done it when the rules and regulations were different.
Now, David, when will you be paying attention to your Twitter feed again?
Tonight.
I'm sort of setting the scene that David is on Twitter at David Bongiorno. I'm sure you heard that 1,000 times before.
And we'll spell it because it's a long name. It's an easy name, though. Don't be scared. David, obviously, D-A-V-I-D, Bongiorno, B-O-N-G-I-O-R-N-O, all one word, David Bongiorno.
So what I'm saying is, if there's things you need to find out,
get in touch
before our next our next session. Get in touch with David, but just remember, the 25th is Christmas Day. The 26th is a
Boxing Day test.
Traditional day in Australia where we call it Boxing Day, but it's really lie on the couch and do nothing and watch a game of cricket, and eat leftovers day. So nobody wants to be annoyed on
lots of turkey and ham sandwiches for the week after Christmas.
And the prawns
and the prawn cocktail rolls, yum.
Or shrimps, as you call them in some other parts of the world that don't know anything about seafood. And then, of course, the 1st of January here is also the day where you lie on the couch, sleep off a hangover, or sit under a tree because it's really, really, really hot. So don't be twittering anyone.
I'll probably reply. If not. Twitter's my chocolate bread alcohol substitute. It's my addiction.
Yes, but you need a break, and
I do. We all do.
And you've got to inflict yourself on your family at some stage, David. They'll happily hand you back to the internet on the 2nd of January.
That's it. That's right. I tell you what I have been doing with my little fella. We've been playing some Fortnite, and it's very hard, and I'm not very good at it, and I prefer to watch than play. That's a fine money making machine with skins. Do you know about skins?
Yeah, I do. And
Jesus, the money for these skins! It's like buying a virtual wardrobe. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, you don't have to, Dave. Remember?
No, you don't.
Now, dear listener, when the Migrating to Australia podcast.com website is back up and running, we're back to the comments. Comments is a really good way to let us know something, or to pose something to David, because not everybody's in the Twitterati. We understand that. And what I would like you to tell us, if you have the time and the energy, what channel are you listening to us on? How are you consuming us? And would you be interested if we are going to be streaming to Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitch, or any of those other platforms? Just give us an idea, because sometimes it takes a lot of effort to set them up. And if
my son would kill me if I streamed to Twitch.
Well, tell him the Bird podcast streams to Twitch, mate.
I said to him the other day, so tell me about Twitch. Is it like Twitter for younger people? He's like, Dad, it's for gamers.
Well, there's a lot of political stuff on Twitch, and there's a lot of nature stuff cropping up, climate change stuff going on Twitch. So I'm starting to use Twitch for some other shows, and it's a significantly younger audience now than Facebook and YouTube,
Yeah.
and perhaps, you know, perhaps if we're looking to find students and I think most of the people applying for um, graduate visas and whatnot are a lot younger than you and I, Dave, and they
Oh,
may
I
well
know.
be
I know.
missing out.
I'm now older than about 80% of my clients,
Yeah,
and I'm over the halfway mark.
yeah.
Cracked the half ton. Oh, a little while back now. But then
So
I look, those of you who are crazy enough to watch us as opposed to listen to us, I don't look 50 beep, do I? That's right.
no,
Shave the head.
you don't look a day over 70, Dave.
Born in the 60s, just. That's it. But no, look, I'm looking forward to next year, and the Migration Museum is going to be a treat. It's going to be a real treat. And we've got somebody from the museum who's really interested in the show, and it's going to be exciting. The 190 visa, 491 visa for Victoria, the 190 visa, 491 visa for New South Wales, Terracess, Min, lots of great things happening in the new year.
And here's the time where I say thanks again, David, for being an exceptional expert and friendly co-host again. We all
Thank you for being the host with the most, Grant. I tell you.
and if you're listening and you can't tell that we have a lot of fun doing the show, well then I don't know what the hell you are listening to. So yeah, we do have a lot of fun doing the show. We fit it in amongst all the other things that we do, and it's a pleasure. It's a real pleasure when we get some of the comments back, letting us know how we helped out, because
It is. It's fabulous. It's
that's
fabulous.
what that's what we're doing it for. You know, uh, David can advertise anywhere. You know, this promotes David's services because you guys need to know him. You guys need to know him.
But you know what? As long what the important take homes, we do it we do it light, we do it fun, but there are important take homes, and don't pack up everything before you get your visa and arrive in Australia. Don't sell and close down your life with the expectation of a visa, because there's no guarantees with visas. Things come, things go, things stop, things grow. It's really important. I don't want to see anybody this year in my office who says, "What can I do? I sold everything to come here." It's one of the saddest stories. If you don't have a visa until you've got a visa and you're in Australia with permanent residency, if you want permanent residency, make sure you do it the right way. Make sure you seek information from somebody like me or somebody here in Australia. Education consultants, migration consultants offshore are not regulated in any shape or form. And so a phone call to Australia, to someone like me or a colleague of mine, friend of mine, doesn't matter. Get advice from the source. Don't get advice in your home country. It's too dangerous. Not subject to rules and regulations that we are.
Now, David, I would like to thank our loyal listener in the Dominican Republic. It's nice to see that one listen in the Dominican
Do you
Republic is
know? I
on.
think I've spoken to him.
Well, thanks,
And he's
for,
still in the Dominican Republic, because I think I explained how difficult it is to get to Australia from the Dominican Republic. Not impossible, but there's lots of challenges, and there's challenges everywhere. Everyone has to do something, and it's not guaranteed. Immigration is not easy. This is something which, while we are fun and easy in our presentation, what we must stress is that immigration is not easy, and it needs to be done with the assistance of somebody.
correct, and this is a great place to be over here on this side of the world. But if you can't get here, let's hope that we can find a way to make it more
Bring him here.
enjoyable to be wherever you are. And
That's it.
and I mentioned the Dominican Republic. Look, there's a heap of places where there's only one or two people regularly listening, and I see you. I tell David where people are, and it's just great to know that you're out there and that episode after episode that one little listen or those two listens are still coming. It's not like
That's fantastic.
countries where we've got, thousands, 1,000 people listening every time. So yeah, look, we know you're there. We appreciate that you're doing it, and we'd love to hear from you. So
Anybody from Benin or Togo, reach out. Love to. You know what we might do? You know what we should do? Talk to a listener from Benin or Togo.
well, I'm always asking people to get in touch. So do go to the Migrating to Australia podcast.com website. Wait until after January 1 and comment. Tell us your story. And God, if we can hook up to talk to you in so many different ways. So let's do it. I would love to hear what you think. And of course, reviews are great, but share us. If you're in the Caribbean and you're listening, share us with some of your brothers and sisters over there. Yeah, and look, we want to know if there's stuff you want to know that we can help you with, in terms of things that we aren't covering or an aspect that we aren't following up.
Or you want us to deep dive into anything. We're here. We're here to have a good time, but we're here to educate, illuminate, warn, cajole, encourage. You want a migration journey, we'll give it to you in reality or virtually if you just want to see what it's like to live in Australia. This country is full of migrants who've made it, who've done incredible things, and we'd like to bring them to you as well. So in the new year, of course, we'll have even a larger number of people with stories to tell, adventures to share, and warnings. We don't want people to come and make the same mistake that other people have made. So there's a whole host of exciting episodes coming through.
And be like it's Banny Banny. Don't hold back. Tell us
I want Bunny on the show.
Oh,
We don't have a system, and we interrupt each other.
I want It's Banny Banny on the show too. Send us a voicemail. It's Banny Banny. Just send us a voice message that you record on your phone. Tell us what you really think.
I love it.
Dave.
Oh, you know who we are having, by the way, too? There's one who's accepted earlier today, and she's migrated from Vietnam, and she was active in student politics. She sells real estate. She's a single mum. She's focused, driven. She has a beautiful kid, and she's a nightclub singer. And so what she does, she's fantastic. So she works all day, works all night, provides for her boy, highly educated, and her family have also left Vietnam, and they're in the Czech Republic. So she's got a great story to tell about Vietnam to Australia with family in the Czech Republic. But she's a great singer. So we're actually going to have somebody perform on the Migrating to Australia podcast.
Fantastic. That'll put me to the test. No end, Dave. That's great. It's that time, David, where we say Happy Hanukkah, Happy Christmas,
Happy holidays. Boas festas.
Happy Diwali.
Bon Natale. Feliz Natal. What do we say in French? I can't remember.
Baguette.
I can't remember. Joyeux Noël or something like that. Joyeux Noël.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Something like that. Mate, have a good one. And I am going to be off the path. I will be eating a bit of turkey. It's the only time of year I eat turkey. Do you eat turkey in the rest of the year?
Today, I just began day one of being a pescatarian.
Well, thank God you're not a breatharian. A pescatarian. What did you have? What fish?
I had salmon today.
Yum. Salmon is good.
So there's a bit of whitebait to be had.
Yeah. Nice.
But
nice.
There's no great declarations. I just really like fish, seafood. Seafood at this time of year in Australia is very plentiful, and I'm just giving the whole chicken, ham, especially chicken, a rest. And And part of a project for another podcast, Dave, is I'm trying to very accurately work out my carbon footprint and
Oh, okay.
and and whatnot. And food production has a lot to do with that. And before I hear everyone shout and go, but the oceans are being overfished. Yes, I know. And sustainable fish is an issue, but that's part of the thing. That's one of the things that I'm exploring for a different,
Different
a different
podcast.
yeah. So
Well, Dom and I might catch you some fish because it's his birthday is a couple of days after Christmas. I bought him a rod and a rig as an early Christmas birthday present, so we're going to be fishing.
just don't catch it anywhere near Cannonook Creek, mate. That's all I ask, or near the Elwood Canal.
Oh, we've actually got a guidebook on where to fish, so it's good.
Very good, very good. Well, I think we've just about uh, reached the end for 2020. Hey, 2020, we won't be sorry to see you go.
I don't think anybody will lament the passing of this year. No one.
Best wishes to everybody who has been listening, and please
Reach out, talk to us. Reach out.
I was doing my public health warning. Stay apart, wash your hands, wear a mask, and take it seriously, please.
I like the masks. They hide my double chin.
Well, wait until the bird emergency face mask is released, David.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What eagle face? Hawk face? Red robin face?
No, well, they're all common birds. No, we go critically endangered, so we might see a curlew, we might see a dodo. They're extinct. We might see a passenger pigeon.
I want to get one of those black ninja masks. I like those. I see a lot of people wearing them, and they look very cool. I don't think I'd look very cool. And the problem with me, I have a 67 centimeter circumference head, so the mask looks like a little sort of an espresso cup on my face.
So when you order your custom one, you just imagine you're making one for a watermelon.
Literally.
All right, dear listener. There will be stuff coming down the feed. Thank you so much. Thanks again, David.
Thanks, Grant. Good year.
It's been a blast. Awful year.
Awful year, but good podcast year for us. We've got some good material out, and we'll have even better material next year. It just gets better and better with age.
And I'm going to use the holiday period to work up some more of my comedy bits.
See you, mate.
Uru.